Hey everyone, Taylor Sparks here, Editor-in-Chief of Integrating Materials and Manufacturing Innovation. I've got a new paper to talk about. It's about trying to model and assess the accuracy of models when you're predicting the thermal history of additively manufactured metals. This work comes to us from researchers at TU Munich, at NIST in Gaithersburg, and Bauhaus-University in Weimar from lead author Vijaya Holla. Okay, it's no surprise that if you're going to do laser powder bed fusion of metals, you're hitting it with the laser. There's very difficult to predict heating scenarios, right? They talk about temperature fluctuations, extreme conditions causing all sorts of problems. Things can boil, you can get intense evaporation, keyhole formation, lots of problems. So we'd like to be able to model this because there's lots of laser parameters to consider. But modeling it is actually pretty tricky. They point out that there's actually several different ways to do it, right? They vary in fidelity. You've got the computationally intensive multi-physics simulations, but these can be very slow. Take, for example, this one they point out here, 100,000 CPU hours to simulate a single track, 1,000 microns long, corresponding to about 100 microseconds of process time. So that's not going to scale for large parts. And on the clear other end, you do have simple models that exist out there, and the trade-off is always faster speed, but with reduced accuracy. Now, the authors here are not necessarily developing a new approach for modeling the thermal transport in these things, but instead they're talking about a way to compare models with a baseline, which is interesting. In the past, what they'll do is they'll compare point-wise comparisons of the temperature profile themselves. So for example, here's an example of a measurement and a simulation. If you took a thermal camera and you actually made measurements as a function of time and position, and you compared that with the simulation, you could do a point-wise comparison, and that's pretty common in the literature. However, they point out here that it says model validation in this processes is challenging due to its complex, multi-scale nature, and a model may accurately reproduce temperature trends at specific locations, but fail to capture the overall behaviors. So if you're not going to do point-wise similarity, what other options do we have? They point out this interesting notion of using statistical similarity measures as a more efficient way to visualize the agreement, but also capture what they call unambiguous quantitative comparison of the essential real-world validation. Now, they weren't the first ones to think of this idea in the additive manufacturing space. There's this paper by Chandrasekhar, right here, where they use similarity analysis for thermal signature comparison, but that was used to identify defects, not to calibrate models against real data. Okay, for validation, they're going to take advantage of the amazing AM Bench 2022 challenge, which actually has a thermal camera looking down. They did a pad Y experiment. They're going to track that and compare model performance against that, doing the comparison with these statistical models. Again, the metrics that they care about, the physically relevant features, are time above melting, maximum time above melting, solid cooling rate, and liquid cooling rate. Now, they go about employing these statistical measures in different ways. For example, they use a different sliding window sizes to capture the effect of scale. The different metrics that they use themselves are Pearson correlation, structural similarity index measure, and normalized Euclidean distance. And then for the rest of the paper, you can see how well they actually match up. Like, here's the measurement versus the simulation. This is showing you maximum time of a melting, and they can see the comparison there. And then they do the comparison for all the different statistical measures, right? For example, here's row-wise Pearson correlation on that MTAM. So what were some of their takeaways? Well, when you consider the three different statistical measurements, you've got Pearson correlation, and that does a good job of detecting pattern similarity, but it was insensitive to scaling and magnitude differences. On the other hand, Euclidean distance does a good job of capturing magnitude difference, but then it's less sensitive to spatial patterns. And then there's SSIM, which is a good compromise between the both. It's neither overly sensitive to pattern or magnitude like you get with the other two approaches, making it a promising measure for model measurement comparison in these applications. So how do these actually work for this scenario? Well, when you're predicting things like maximum time above melting, it does a pretty good job actually. It captures strong agreement, although there are some problems with downward directed tracks and track ends. The total time above melting, it does differ in magnitude, but it captures good pattern similarity. And cooling rates, they show local similarity, but improved agreement at larger scales after smoothing. So this does seem to be an interesting new approach to comparing your models for additive manufacturing. Read all about it in the latest issue of IMMI.